It feels like every year there are new scuba diver training agencies added to the fold with a shiny new logo and promises of better training requirements. As a recreational diver, what do you need to know about scuba diver training agencies? If you commit to do your open water course with one agency, are you stuck to them for life? Can you switch backwards and forwards between the agencies? Do one agency recognize another agency's certs as prerequisites? It's Mouthpiece Monday time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Divers Ready. How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land? My name is James. I'm a professional dive instructor and digital content creator. And if you haven't done so already, you should make your next dive on that subscribe button, because we make videos like this where we're discussing the pros and cons of different scuba diver training agencies with one single goal in mind, and that is to help make you a better diver. So if you like this video and you want to help our channel out, give us the old thumbs up, dive on that subscribe button and click the little bell icon. Now, if you'd like to skip to the meat and potatoes of this video, you're going to want to go to this time signature right here. But before we get into today's video, for my regular viewers, I just wanted to give a couple of pieces of scuba news, things that are going on with the channel. Starting with, it's the Boot Show right now. That is the largest European water sports conference, show, expo, however you want to say it, in Düsseldorf, Germany. Sadly, we couldn't make it this year, but we fully intend to go next year because we have a lot of friends, of course, that side of the pond. However, we did manage to send our trusty field correspondent, Menno, aka Finding Menno, who you'll remember from our Grand Cayman video series. Menno, how's the Boot Show treating you?
That's right, James. I'm here at the boat in Düsseldorf, as you would say. So nice to see all your happy faces again. Just past 5 o'clock. So we're slowly opening beers here. The floor is getting a bit empty at the moment, so everyone's enjoying a good time. Early today, I had a big walk of the show floor to see you guys what's happening at this great show. So let's have a look at what I saw today. All the cool stuff at Boat 2020 here in Düsseldorf in Germany. It's an amazing 14 halls of boats, gear, kayaks, travel agencies, sailing, and of course, diving, our favorite underwater activity. I think I'm getting hose envy over here. Look at all this stuff. So right over here we got the famous yellow boxes AP. James, you know you like him because they're from your hometown, or close to, I believe. Check that out. Amazing range of side mount gear. James, I know you want that. Shall I get you one? Ship it over to the US. No problem. I see my credit card taking a beating soon. Dive show in Germany. That means bratwurst. Excellent. Don't feel we were very welcome here today, James. The great Johnny Cash said, got to walk the line. Good thing about the dive show in Düsseldorf, that a lot of retailers have a little booth set up over here. So you get some amazing show deals over here. Get some new dive equipment here for really good rates. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Hello. Everybody's selling stuff. A little ale full of dry suits. And the suits. I'm not sure about that yet. I'm a bit of a warm weather diver myself. So we'll see about that. Have you already signed up for the Divers Ready trip to Bonaire? Sign up right now. VIP diving, Divers Ready. Gonna be an epic trip. As you can see, some familiar faces over here. People having a good time.
Hey.
Hello, hello. Enjoying the beers. How are you guys doing over here? You're on YouTube. Enjoy your beers, guys. See you later. Well, those were some familiar faces having a good time at Boat. So cool to see many friends, old friends, and make many new ones. James, why aren't you here, man? Come on, get on over, get a ticket, fly on over. Anyways, this is Divers Ready. Special guest, Menno Verschuur from the Netherlands.
Thanks very much, Menno. Appreciate your contributions to this channel. As always, looking forward to collaborating with you later in the year. Now, some sad news for me, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite dive shops here in South Florida, Pompano Dive Center, are shutting their doors after 11 years in business. I'm super choosy about who I go scuba diving with because I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and Pompano Dive Center were truly one of the good ones, and it brings a tear to my eye, actually, that they're closing their doors forever this week. weekend. So I just want to take this opportunity and use this platform to say a great big thank you to Jeremy and his entire team of staff who I've got to know over our time in Miami and South Florida area. Thanks for all your hard work, guys. Thanks for being one of the most professional dive operations that I've ever seen anywhere in the world. And I really appreciate you, and I wish you guys all the best for the future. Now, on with the show. It is one of the most common questions you get as a dive instructor. I did my open water course with this agency. Can I take a course with you if you teach for that agency? If I do a course with you, will it be recognized around the world? All those kind of questions. And they're sensible and smart questions to be asking. So I thought this Mouthpiece Monday, I would give you my answers to the most common questions that I receive about scuba diver training agencies and crossing over, that is going from one agency to another. Starting with, I haven't done my open water diver yet. How do I choose an agency? Trick question. You don't choose an agency, you choose an instructor. You're not shopping for an agency, although agencies would make you think that you are. You're shopping for an instructor. You need to find an instructor whose teaching style best meshes with the way that you like to learn, and somebody that you gel with personality-wise, but most importantly as well, somebody that you'll actually trust your life to, because that's in essence what you're doing. Once you've interviewed a bunch of different instructors, then you can ask them, oh, what agencies do you teach for? And as long as they teach for a training agency that is internationally recognized, more on that later, and will be accredited or acknowledged by your dive insurance company, again, more on that later, you're good to go. Next question. Hold up, what do you mean by internationally recognized? Well, I told you we were going to get to this later, and later is now. By internationally recognized, and I'm making some sweeping generalizations here, we basically mean that agency's training program has been ratified by one of two high-end scuba training agency councils, either CMAS or the WRSTC. Let's start with CMAS. According to the Wikipedia page for sports diver training agencies, there are over 160 different scuba diver training agencies in the world. Now, many of those are nationalistic organizations with names like the Malayan Sub-Aqua Club or the Royal Jordanian Marine Sports Organization, etc., etc. You get the picture. But just because a club is nationalistic or recognized or founded by the government of one particular country doesn't mean that it's not internationally recognized, and that's where CMAS comes in. CMAS, or the Confédération Mondiale des Activités Subaquatiques, is the governing body responsible for, amongst other things, promoting the sport of scuba diving and all subaquatic sports around the world, including water polo, synchronized swimming, underwater rugby, etc. But it is also an internationally recognized standard setter for scuba diving. CMAS is a not-for-profit organization, and it's funded by the dues of club members. As I said, not just in scuba diving, but water polo and other subaquatic sports. You belong to a club, you pay dues to that club, and some of that money goes to funding your club's activities, and then every year they pay CMAS a certain amount as a governing body. So there's nothing wrong with certifying in a nationalistic training organization, like for example the Royal Jordanian Marine Sports Organization. That's fine as long as it's CMAS ratified. So I'll have the CMAS logo on the back of that nation's scuba diving cards, and that means that training program has been approved at a higher level and should be internationally accepted. Now, there's also nothing wrong with doing a national training program that isn't CMAS ratified, but just know that if you go and dive in other countries, you might find some resistance there to accepting your card as credentials to allow you to dive. And then you have the WRSTC, that's the World Recreational Scuba Training Council, or actually it's 4 councils. You have a council in Canada, in the USA, in Europe, and Japan. This council, or these councils, are made up of scuba diving training agencies that you will know and recognize. SSI, STI, PADI, all the big names are in these councils. So what the WRSTC does is each agency that is a member of a council sends a representative, and they have a meeting, and they try and decide how they can make the courses faster, what they can remove from the basics of scuba diver training without being held responsible for any deaths that occur because of insufficient training. The minimum standards that they all agree to adhere to. Now remember that, minimum standards, that basically is like saying, how shit can we get away with being? but they all agree to take each other's cards and accept each other's certifications because they're based off the same minimum standards. Next question, will I be able to get dive insurance? Haha! Now that is a question you should be asking. As we talked about in our video, why do I need to get certified to scuba dive, which I will link up here, it's the scuba diver training agencies that have sculpted the legal landscape of the sport. Now, if you do not have dive insurance and you have a dive accident, the chances are your travel insurance or your insurance in your home country, your basic health insurance, does not cover a trip to the chamber, and that can be incredibly pricey. So in some places they won't let you dive without insurance, and to get insurance you need to be certified by a recognized training agency, and that is a training agency that the insurance company itself have recognized the training programs thereof. For example, if you get insurance through Dive Assured, they are a major dive insurance provider, they only recognize 63 of the 160 plus, whatever it was from Wikipedia, scuba diver training agencies. So you're going to want to make sure that the agency you're thinking about getting training through is insurable. I suppose that's one really messed up way that you can actually pick your scuba training agency, is to buy dive insurance and see which agencies they approve. Seems a little backwards to me. Next question, please. I did my entry-level scuba diver course with agency X. Can I do my advanced course with agency Y? And you can change the names of those courses around and the agencies and blah, blah, blah. Nearly always yes is the answer. You can do your open water course with agency A, your advanced course with agency B, your rescue diver with agency C, and your master scuba diver with agency D. They don't care. They all accept your prerequisite certification cards from all of their competitors, kind of like a supermarket accepting its competitors' coupons. They don't care, they just want you to spend your next training dollars with them. If you paid agency A for your open water course and agency B win your business for advanced open water, agency B consider that a win because they've lured you away from another training agency. But it doesn't matter at all. As I said at the beginning, the only thing that matters is your instructor. And I'm not saying that like, oh, the only thing that matters is your instructor. Your instructor is word is gospel. Joke for you, what's the difference between God and a dive instructor? God doesn't think he's a dive instructor. And let me tell you, every dive instructor in the world has given some thought at some time or another to starting their own training agency, and it usually comes around the time that we have to fork over hundreds of dollars in membership dues for the privilege of selling that agency's products. Next question. Well, hang on a minute. If you're telling me that the agencies don't matter, why did you, James, switch from one agency to another as an instructor? It's a fair question. In a word, money. It's a bit different when you become an instructor. I used to be a recreational instructor for PADI, 4 years clean, and a tech instructor for IANTD. Side note here, I went by the IANTD booth at DEMA last year, and there were two old men asleep in fold-out chairs in a tiny booth. That tells you everything you need to know about IANTD. That's not even a joke, that literally happened. So for years I had to pay annual dues to PADI to keep my recreational instructor status active, and then I had to pay additional dues to INTD to maintain my tech instructor status. Now I just pay one agency, International Training, which is SDI, TDI, ERDI, and I can teach all the courses that I'm certified to teach. And that's it. That's the only reason I crossed over from paying two agencies to paying essentially one agency. And yes, I'm very happy where I am with SDI, TDI, and yes, they have quality training materials, as do many different agencies, and yes, they have good customer service, and we've talked about that in other videos. But no, my business hasn't suffered because I don't teach PADI anymore. That used to, like, when you first become an instructor and you drink the PADI Kool-Aid, they put the fear of God into you that if you don't teach PADI, you won't get a job as an instructor, and that is absolute bullcrap. Not once since crossing over have I ever lost a student because I don't teach PADI anymore the way the world learns to kneel. Not once. Here's how that conversation goes. Oh, hi, is this James? Yeah, hi, I have my PADI open water. Can I do my advanced with you? Absolutely. It will be the SDI Advanced Adventure course. Is that cool? Okay. Nobody cares. Really, the agency should only matter to the instructor and not the student. The instructor has to deal with the agency on a daily basis. The student doesn't. The instructor pays an annual fee for the privilege of using the services of the agency. The student doesn't. The instructor's teaching is being supported by the materials provided by the training agency. The student doesn't know enough to know whether they're good materials or not. So that's my advice. Go out there and find an instructor you like, find somebody you trust and that you can get along with, and don't worry so much about what agency they teach for or don't teach for, or what agency you've learned from in the past. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure that whoever they teach for, your dive insurance will accept. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click that little bell icon so that you're notified every time we drop a new video. If you enjoyed this one, give it the fat thumbs up. Let us know in the comments below. We really appreciate all of those interactions. Just over here, I'll put some other videos from our back catalogue that you can enjoy at your leisure. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name's James. This was your Divers Ready video for this week. Dive safe, dive often.